All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Okay, guys, so Bitcoin has seen a little bit of a recovery today, breaking above, first of all, holding the value area low of our local range and breaking above the POC and flipping it to support, pretty much coming up to the value area high of the range, which I suspect we will continue working our way up to that value area high. But I want to talk about some of the scenarios we were talking about on the live stream yesterday. We were talking about a potential five wave impulse down here to reject from that zero point 0.5 and come down to hit our support level below between 120.370 and 120.1, where we do have a naked daily point of control in confluence with the bullish backtest of that value area high. But if we look at our third wave, our potential third wave impulse down, and we pull a golden pocket from the highs of the third wave to the lows of the third wave, and we look at that golden pocket, we have now hit that golden pocket and rose above that golden pocket. This is an invalidation for the impulse down. So we can no longer look at this as a potential five wave move to the downside and an impulsive move to the downside. Now we have to look at this as a corrective move, a three wave corrective move here, which does change things for Bitcoin and actually gives Bitcoin a higher probability to either keep ranging in this general area or pump to new all-time highs before seeing that bigger correction to the downside. So it's been kind of a slow day today for Bitcoin, and you could look at this as a five wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, five-wave impulse that finished. If we are going to correct, we can look at a three wave move down to our local golden pocket area. So if we just pull a golden pocket from the lows to the highs of today, that golden pocket, it's between the golden pocket and the 786. Now, if we throw on our 786 as well, I do think that 786 area is a little bit more enticing as support because we do have the value area low of the range down there as well. And then, of course, we do have a couple new daily levels. So if we turn on our daily levels, today's daily level that's about to close in 1 minute here is going to be a fresh daily level, is going to be right at that 786 and value area low as well. Now, you can also see we do have a fresh daily level up above the value area high of the range. And if we pull our Fibonacci from the highs of this corrective move to the lows of this corrective move, the golden pocket was hit earlier today, and that is where we rejected golden pocket value area high. We're seeing a small pullback from that area, but we could bounce from this POC and continue working our way up to hit that daily slash 786 area and then see another retracement down. If we do that before dumping, then I won't be looking so much at the daily 786 value area low. Of course, it would change this 786 right here. It would no longer be in the same spot. But now I'm looking at bullish retracements. You know, if we do see a move down here, I will be looking for scalp long opportunities to bring it up at least up to our local resistance above. So the daily around 121,400 with that 786 right there and the value area low is the first local level of support that I would be looking at, interested in taking a scalp long opportunity for them is this guy here. And potentially bringing this up to new all-time highs, potentially coming up further. We do remember we have our bigger all-time highs. Let me get rid of this channel. Bigger resistances above us. We did front run that 1.618 of the impulse of the third wave. So let me zoom out here on the 4-hour time frame. And from our 107.2K lows, we're looking at a potential impulse, a five-wave impulse to the upside. Here, we did front run that 618, so we could see a push up to that 1.618, taking the liquidity of the local range that is right here forming before seeing that fourth wave corrective move and then seeing one last fifth wave up to the pitchfork band or to the top of our fib channel, which is sitting around 136K now. So that is kind of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Not too much else to talk about. Very slow day today. We still do have the bear divs on the chart on the 4-hour time frame, higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the momentum waves, and our money flow is still consistently draining out here. And you can see also on NAMI, bear divs, money flow is draining out, crossed over into the red, and money flow on the NAMI here is still pretty aggressively dumping into the red. So what does that tell me? That tells me with this being a three-wave corrective move, but money flow still looking pretty bearish here with the bear divs confirmed, more ranging type price action. And we could see one more range in here hitting up into that 1.618 or even breaking up and hitting up into our fib channel around 131K before seeing a bigger corrective move and then one last impulse in a fifth wave to finish off this overall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulse to the upside. But that's really all that I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Not too much has changed. If we go on to our CBD and open interest charts, our order flow charts, you can see here earlier today, we were and we still are developing some bullish CBD divergence. Now, I will say this, I am using the aggregated open interest chart. So it's taking the open interest of all the major exchanges, of the majority of the major exchanges. And you can see we are making higher lows in the price action and we are making definitive lower lows on the CVD. This is a bullish CVD divergence, but you can also see that our open interest has been decreasing this whole time. And remember, we talked about these prolonged decreases in open interest. If we see these prolonged decreases in open interest in our overall more bullish absorption, it could invalidate that absorption. So I'm going to go into that in just a second. But first, speaking of just what we're seeing here with the bullish CVD divs from the Monday's lows or yesterday's lows, excuse me, we are seeing bullish CVD divergence, which is not the same thing as absorption. Divergences do not play out near as much as absorption when you have confirmed open interest increasing while you're seeing those CVD divergences. But this is a sign that we could at least keep grinding a little bit higher here and hitting at least into the value area high or the daily level that is above us. If we go back to this chart, the daily level at 124,700, 720, and that value area high around 124,400. So yes, more signs that this move could keep continuing. Now, I will say this move on Bitcoin to the upside, if we zoom back in onto the 30-minute chart and we look at from yesterday's lows, the move to the upside, I do have to say that it isn't looking the strongest yet. If we turn on our volume here, let me turn off the daily levels so we can clean up this chart. The volume is overall kind of flat here, not going down. We did have a nice spike earlier today when we hit into that golden pocket, but not the strongest move up so far. Even though we are grinding and building bullish CVD divergences, it is not looking the strongest here. And that tells me that it could just be more of the range continuing. We also can look at this small ascending channel. If we take our two lows, we connect it to our highs here, have this small ascending channel. And actually, let me try to bring this channel up to our high from today. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Midline's respected a little bit better here. So we do have this small ascending channel that we're kind of trading in, and we could just continue trading in this micro trend channel. You can see on lower time frames, we do have money flow coming up on Market Cypher being NAMI. So maybe we're going to keep chopping in this channel, come down, bounce from the midline to then come up to that value area high in that daily that is just above us. And you can see the daily would be at the top of the channel, where then we might be able to get a scalp short opportunity to our local support level. So not too much to be looking at here for Bitcoin. Not a lot has changed on the charts. I'll hide this small channel. And then if we go ahead and look back at our CVD and open interest charts, and we look at that larger bullish CVD divergence that I talked about on yesterday's live stream. Now, I want to give you guys a warning here because I talked about this as seeing from our 108.2K lows, we were making higher lows on the price action and we were making definitive lower lows on the CVD. That is bullish CVD divergence. But also we had a very steady increase in open interest here, showing bullish CVD absorption, which is a signal that does play out 70 to 80% of the time, where we can expect to come take out the highs, in this case, the all-time high. But if we do see these prolonged dips in open interest after seeing a pretty steady rise in open interest, this for me in the past 4 or 5 months since I've been really keeping track of this, anytime we see this on these prolonged dips in open interest on the charts, it does tend to invalidate the bullish CVD absorption where it doesn't play out like it should. And so I just want to give you guys a fair warning right now. This is our all-time high, by the way. Not that one. No, I'm sorry. I had that right the first time. Um, I'm just warning you guys right now that we could see a rejection from our local range value area high in our daily, and then a breakdown of this local range that has been forming over the past 2-3 days here. So, and then if this continues to decrease a little bit more, now technically our bullish CVD is absorption is not going to be invalidated until we take out the lows here at 256.13K of open interest on the charts. But if we do continue to see this absorption or this open interest continue to decline like this, for me, that is going to be a big red warning flag on the charts that we are not going to have this absorption play out quite like we were expecting it to play out. Okay, on to our liquidation heat maps. If we just look at the past 24 hours of price action on Bitcoin, you can see that the majority of the liquidity is resting down below us, really coming down to about that 120K area of support, where that is where our naked daily point of control in confluence with that value area high is going to be. So that is where, if we do reject from the local range, we could make that move down into this area as well to take out that liquidity. It's our most local liquidity below us. And then if we look at our Model 2 heat map, you can see very clearly the liquidity is below us, coming down to backtest that area of support. So I would suspect that with that liquidity acting as a magnet, this range could continue for a bit more, continue to mature a bit more. But if we do see a rejection from that daily level, which is near the top of our channel and our value area high, then we might see that move down to hit into our naked daily point of control there and our value area high bullish backtest. Okay, let's zoom out on the liquidity heat maps. Let's go to the past month of price action. And really, I mean, the liquidity all around us has pretty much been taken. Let's check out our 3-month heat map. Yeah, and we still just have that huge level of liquidity below not only the 108.2K lows, but really below our 107.2K lows. So I just would like to let you guys know that that liquidity, I just don't see market makers leaving that there and continuing to pump up to massive levels above. Yes, maybe we can get up to 130 or 135, but after that, we might see a larger correction to come down and sweep that liquidity. And honestly, if we reject from 135, for me, that is going to be a warning sign. It could be towards the end of the bull market. It could be our last move up in this bull market. Am I sure about that? No, never sure about when this bull market will end. But based off of our major Fibonacci levels, if we zoom out here onto our daily time frame, we can see that the top of that channel is coming in between 135 to 137K if we hit it in the next couple of weeks here. And for me, that will be a major area to look for a possible larger rejection and a finishing of this 5-wave impulse that we could be seeing here up into that area of resistance, or even looking at our pitchfork that has been so well respected for this cycle. Let me get rid of this. Looking at our bottom of the pitchfork between like 131 to about 133,000, depending on how long it takes to come up there. So seeing this 5-wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave impulse ending around that area. And then seeing that larger corrective move to backtest the midline again. And that could be around 118K. Let's just pull our volume profile right now. Yeah, your POC would be right around that area. Of course, your POC is going to change with that bullish price action that would be coming in. Your POC might raise a little bit, but you can see that POC and that value area high backtest, a larger time frame backtest would be around that pitchfork midline. And then if the bull market is going to continue, we could continue pushing up all the way to the top of the pitchfork, which would be in the 170s, 160s to 170s, depending on how fast we get there. That is about it for Bitcoin, guys. That is honestly not too much else to cover for Bitcoin. Now, if we go on to our total market cap chart, you can see here on the daily time frame, I warned about this on Monday's video and in the live stream yesterday, hitting into that resistance of the pitchfork band on the daily time frame, we could see a pullback from that area. And I said we could look at a 3-wave corrective move to backtest the value area high of our range before continuing to push up. And that could be the backtest of the breakout of that range, the backtest of the breakout before continuing to push up, potentially even to the top of the pitchfork band or even to the top of the pitchfork. But if we do zoom in on the daily time frame, you can see here on the daily time frame, it does look like a clean tap of that pitchfork band. But if we zoom in onto our 4-hour charts, you can actually see that we did front run the actual touching of the pitchfork just barely according to our 4-hour chart. And that 1.618 Fibonacci extinction, actually not for, I'm sorry, I'm confusing that with Bitcoin. But we do have that resistance just above where we could look at a flat correction in here as well, because we did take out our lows, breaking market structure bearishly. So we could be looking at a flat correction in here where we do come up. Now we're going to take out the highs, hit into actual pitchfork band, and then come down and take out the lows of our little local range that is forming here. I would say this is our range so far that is forming. All right. We do have the bear divs also confirmed on the total market cap chart, and money flow is topped out and is now coming to the downside. So for me, I'm not looking at too much a more explosive price action just based off the bear divs that we are seeing, both on Bitcoin and total market cap. If we go on to the 2-hour chart, you can see here very clearly 4 higher highs in the price action. We have lower highs in the momentum waves. Now, we did get this one peak that peaked a little bit above these guys, but we do have very slight bear divs between these two humps as well. But on NAMI, you can see very clear bearish divergences here as we're coming up to that pitchfork band of resistance. And also we have bear divs on the money flow here coming up into that pitchfork band of resistance. Okay, before I go on to some of the altcoins, I do want to talk about the partners of the channel. The main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN-free and KYC-free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link, they'll give you a minimum of 20% off discounts off trading fees, but you can earn actually up to 40% discounts on trading fees depending on how much you deposit. They're offering really great initial deposit bonuses. If you deposit $100, you can get a 50% deposit bonus, and then various 10 to 20% deposit bonuses depending on how much you deposit. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses depending on how much you trade in those futures markets. And lastly, I've partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where I do post some of my trade setups ahead of time and my market analysis throughout the day. If you're interested in joining that Telegram community, all you need to do is sign up with BYDFI, deposit $100 into that account. That $100 is your money to trade with. You will get the deposit bonus. And then you can go into the link in the description of this video, click on the Telegram link in the description. Once you're in that Telegram channel, type in /verify and then your user ID, which will be a string of letters and numbers up here in this area. And that'll automatically get you into that Telegram community. Second partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. And NAMI is a really great momentum and money flow indicator that I do use for entry and exit confirmations on these trades. If I'm seeing bear divs as we're coming up into resistance, that gives me a better signal to look for an actual short trade from that area. And NAMI is a really, really great tool for that. The money flow is based off actual money flow, a little bit unlike Market Cipher B. And if you're interested in purchasing NAMI for this week only, the NAMI trading team has reached out to me in celebration of Bitcoin making new all-time highs. They are offering a 60% off discount code for a lifetime subscription to NAMI. Discount code is going to be Divine ATH, all-time high. Just Divine ATH is the discount code. Both the link to purchase NAMI and the discount code will be in the description of this video. And then lastly, we are partnered with a couple more exchanges. We're partnered with Bybit and MEXC. They are both great exchanges, reputable exchanges with low fees. They're offering futures trading bonuses as well. So if you're interested in signing up with any of those exchanges, the links are in the description as well there. Okay, on to Ethereum. Guys, Ethereum is just kind of chopping around in this volume profile as well. If I go on to the 30-minute chart, I was looking at this little descending channel. You can see we broke out of that descending channel, back tested the value area low of the range. Really, we just kind of formed a bottom formation at this value area low. Whether you want to call that like a rounded bottom here or like an inverse head and shoulders here. And we're breaking that to the upside. We're breaking up out of that, and we are actually back testing that kind of support resistance flip. If you look at this range, we're kind of back testing this general neckline area here of this inverse head and shoulders. And I do think we could continue up to the value area high of the range, coming in around 45.72 to 45.75. But we're just chopping within this range. And if we pull our Fibonacci from the highs of the move to the lows that we saw yesterday, you can see the golden pocket is going to be coming in kind of in the middle of nowhere. You can see we do have some imbalance in here that would be filled if we come up to that golden pocket, all of this imbalance. But I'm really interested in that 786 area. That 786, once again, is going to be the top of the pitchfork in confluence with our larger range value area high, which is this range that lasts about 2 months. Let me pull that all the way. And it's going to be the 786. 786 value area high, top of the pitchfork. If we break above that, then I do think we're going to come up to our purple box of resistance above between really 47.80 to about 4800, 48.16. And if we look at our naked daily points of control here on Ethereum, we do not really have any naked daily points of control in this local range. We do have that fresh naked daily point of control just below us. And I was interested in looking for a small bounce from that area. Now we do have a liquidity grab of yesterday's lows into that naked daily point of control. So not a major level of support, but anytime you have a naked daily point of control within a swing failure pattern into a volume support level, you should be watching that. That could provide for a scalp trade coming in right around 43.90-ish. And if we go ahead and look at our daily levels here, zooming out onto the daily time frame, we also do have a couple new daily levels on Ethereum. We do have that daily level that once again is going to be coming in right around our local resistance that I just talked about, 786 value area high, top of the pitchfork. And then we also have a daily level that just confirmed about 20 minutes ago here at 44.50, let's say. So zooming back in onto Ethereum, just a local range. We have a local range, but this area of resistance above is the area of resistance where if we're going to continue to kind of chop within this range, this is the area where I would be looking for a potential scalp short position to come down to the bottom of our range or to come down even to take out your lows from yesterday. Really good confluences here. Value area high has a daily level and the pitchfork and the 786. The value area low of our range has a daily level. So trade the range until it breaks. When you get near the highs of the range, you can look for shorts. When you get near the lows of the range, you can look for longs. This is just scalp positions that I would be playing on Ethereum right now. Not interested in playing anything until we get a clear sign that this range is going to break one way or the other. We did have the bear divs confirmed with money flow draining out as well. Bear divs confirmed, money flow bearish divergence here as well. So there is the potential that we kind of create this, once again, topping pattern here on Ethereum, just like we created a larger topping pattern here on Ethereum before seeing that break down to that 382. So those like head and shoulders or a Model 2 distribution, whatever you want to call it, but I'll be looking at that local area around 46.86 for a potential short position. Scalp short position. Let me say that. Scalp short position. And if you're scalp shorting, then learn to take profits at those scalp support levels as well. Okay, that is it for Ethereum. Now let's go on to Solana. Solana, guys, is right now in the process of the bearish backtest of the value, the pitchfork band and the value area low. Let's pull that range before it broke down. You can see the value area low of this small range that we formed inside the pitchfork band. And we're backtesting the value area low of that range as well as our pitchfork band. So if we do reject here, then I do think we will see a bigger three-wave corrective move, potentially down to our support level around 209, 208, 209. If we can reclaim and get back inside of this band, I do think we will continue working our way up, not only SFPing the range highs up here, but potentially coming all the way up to that 256 to 259, hitting the top of the pitchfork band again. And remember, when we rejected here at 252, we had a weekly level in confluence with our 786. But above us, if we look at our naked weekly points of controls at 256, we have a naked weekly point of control. We also have a daily level that's up there at 256. And we also have a naked monthly point of control that's up at 256. So if we can get back inside of this pitchfork band, range in there, break up to take that level of resistance out, I'd still would be looking 256 to like 260-ish for a potential pullback on Solana. Zooming out to the daily time frame, we do have a new daily support level that just confirmed 20 minutes ago. That is going to be around 220. And of course, we have our daily resistance above us from yesterday. That is going to be around 232.5. So if we are just going to look at this local range, first of all, if we can break back above this pitchfork band, then we can pull this range and just say that this was a deviation of the lows of the range, a deviation, getting back inside of it and potentially pushing up to the value area high of the range. Now, there's a couple interesting scalp levels here for Solana. You can see that our daily level is in pretty close confluence with that point of control. And also, if we turn on our naked daily points of controls here, okay, actually that was hit. So, but we do have a couple interesting levels. The daily level in confluence with your POC could be a local resistance target here. And if we pull our Fibonacci from the highs to the lows, that 786 is going to be coming in right around there. So 786 POC daily level would be a local scalp area for me. And then if we look above that at the value area high of the range in confluence with the top of the pitchfork band, that would be the next area. And that's at like 236, let's say 236. Okay, let's turn off this. And then below us, if we do reject this pitchfork band, then I do think we will be seeing lower targets to come on the chart. I do think we will break down and continue pushing down here. Now, as far as our Elliott count goes, we were looking at this as a potential 1-2, 1-2, big third wave here, and we wanted to see a couple more 4-5s and a double 1-2 impulse down. Obviously, that has been invalidated now because we have hit the golden pocket of our wave 3, going from the highs of 3 to the lows of 3. You can see we have broken above our golden pocket and even our 786. So this could be a more complex correction in the making, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do continue ranging around this pitchfork band, which we often do see these ranges in and around these pitchfork bands. And this is a larger pitchfork band. So get back inside the pitchfork band. I think the range could continue, and we can even come take out the highs of the range. Reject here where we're at now. I do think we're going to continue working our way down to our next major level of support, being that daily golden pocket and midline, pitchfork midline. That's it for Solana. Let's go ahead and go on to SUI. SUI is bouncing from our support level. We laid this support level. So SUI's been trading so nice, guys. First of all, we rejected from our resistance above up here. We dropped all the way back down to our support level below. Now, on SUI, this range has been forming for the past week or so at the lower high golden pocket. If we zoom out here on SUI, we are just making lower lows and lower highs, continuing to reject from the golden pocket. So we had our descending channel corrective move over the past couple of months. We're looking at that as also a sideways range in here. But if we look at SUI, and I talked about this in depth on the live stream, so if you want to go watch yesterday's live stream, you'll get more information on this. But lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, rejected from our lower high golden pocket and the value area high of the range. Made new lows, took out our liquidity of the range lows, came up in a double 1-2 impulse, rejected from the golden pocket. Now we're bouncing right now from our local value. We're bouncing from the value area low of our 2-month long range. But I would say this on SUI, it does look pretty definitive here that we do have this double 1-2 impulse, a 1-2, 1-2. We had our big third wave and then a 4-5, 4-5. So this impulse could be done. And even in a bullish scenario, you could see that 3-wave corrective move to come down to your golden pocket, which is a level we marked out on Tuesday between 330 and 328, 327 really, where the anchored VWAP and the channel midline is. Now, if we are going to see that 3-wave corrective move, then what we want to look for is in a 3-wave corrective move down, we're going to pull that Fibonacci from the highs of your potential first push down to the lows, and that between the golden pocket and the 786 is where you're going to want to look. Let me go ahead and hide this. And you can see the 786 actually is interesting because it's near the value area high of our week-long range. The golden pocket is a little bit above the point of control of this range, but I am looking for a potential rejection from either golden pocket or from the 786 to come down to this 330 golden pocket of this impulse. And then we could look at pushing up here. Now, also on SUI, if you go watch the live stream on Tuesday, yesterday, I really am looking for SUI to continue kind of chopping within this descending channel until we can get down to 295 to 289, where we have a naked daily point of control and a naked weekly point of control, which would be a really, really good level to look for a potential swing long opportunity. Now, does that mean it's going to happen? No. We could hold the value area low of our 2-month long range and we could break out right now. And if we do break above our prior highs from last week, then I do think we will continue breaking up at least to take out the second pivot of the channel around that 390, 393, 395. Okay. But for SUI, I am still looking, if we zoom out onto the 8-hour chart, we are still, money flow is still in the red. Yes, we are seeing a green dot right now, and it looks to be bottoming out a little bit. On NAMI, it's already bottomed out and is coming to the upside. But we did have those confirmed bear divs, higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the momentum waves, and same on NAMI here. So this 8-hour bear div, which is a pretty high time frame bear div, could signal us that we're still in that 3-wave corrective move down, and we're just seeing a B wave bounce right now before seeing our C wave down. That's it for SUI. Going on to Say. Say is still rejecting from our pitchfork lower part of the band. Say has been interesting for me because we are just chopping around. We have this little range over the past, 3-4 days here. Actually about a week now. It's been about a week that we've been chopping around in this local range. And I did say this earlier this week, but Say has a high likelihood of chopping between the value area low of our bigger range and the pitchfork band resistance. And you can see here, actually, that is kind of what we've done. We're forming now a larger range between these areas. And so if we pull that volume profile and we look at that range, we are below the POC of that range, and we did bounce from the value area low of that range. So just chopping within. And if we pull a Fibonacci from the highs last on Monday to the lows from yesterday, golden pocket is coming in right around the POC. And if we are going to see a larger 3-wave corrective move down, then this area could be that area where we reject, and then we could finally come down, potentially even taking out all these semi-equal lows into our large range SFP that goes back to this low down here. And I would be interested in looking for a long position if we confirm the SFP there. Now, as far as shorts go, I would be interested in potentially taking a scalp short position from this golden pocket POC that is going to be right around 29.5 to like 29.7. Zooming out onto higher time frames, if we zoom out onto the 8-hour time frame and we just look at our larger range here that goes back till end of June, so about 3 months now, we're just still rejecting the top of the pitchfork band, now the bottom of the pitchfork band, and we still have not come down to take out these lows. You can see very equal, semi-equal lows all down here. And it would really be nice to kind of, now that we're starting to reject from this pitchfork lower part of the band, to come down and take out that liquidity before seeing the break back up and trying to break all this corrective moves to the upside. I consider this right now a corrective sideways range, where if we can come at least take out these lows around 26, 27, then we could see a big move pushing up, potentially up to our purple box of resistance around 41 to 42 cents. That would be a really nice move to see for say. Is it guaranteed to happen? No. We could just continue chopping around the value area low of our 3-month long range and push up right away. Other than that, just kind of playing the small range on say. So if we zoom into the 2-hour chart and we look and we turn that range back on that we just marked out, I would just be playing this range here. And you can see if we do come up to the value area high of the range, it's going to be in pretty close confluence with our pitchfork band. Another 4th rejection, 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection. So if we do come up there, we could see a 4th rejection from that area. And it's also going to be around our 786. 786 is a little bit lower. I'd say 886 is going to be up there. 886 value area high. That's about it for say. Moving on to XRP. Before we move on to XRP, guys, I want to talk about BNB real quick. BNB has been such a beast. It has been one of the hidden gems of this bull market. And we have been following BNB really ever since we bounced from the bottom of the pitchfork here. We talked about a potential move to the upside of a 5-wave impulse up here. And we could be ending this impulse. We just hit into the top of the pitchfork here. And I actually am short on BNB with my stop above the highs. We do have money flow draining out of the asset, confirmed bear divs locally here on the daily time frame, and bear divs on NAMI. NAMI bear divs on money flow, although it's very slight bear divs, not quite confirmed yet on NAMI. But BNB has had this straight up parabolic move from the bottom of the pitchfork to the top of the pitchfork. And if we zoom in onto our 4-hour chart, you can see here in this last push up here from the midline, once we bounce from the midline, which I did give you guys in the Telegram group and in my live streams ahead of time, I did say if we see a 3-wave corrective move and bounce from that midline, I will be looking for a long from that area. We saw exactly that. We saw a 3-wave corrective move, bounced from the midline, worked our way up to the upper band, kind of formed a little range in the upper band, and then now we've busted up to the top of the pitchfork. But if we look at this last move up from the top, from the bounce of our midline, you can see here now very clearly we do have a potential 5-wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, that could be ending, and we could see at least a move down to backtest the pitchfork band, or a move down even if you look at your golden pocket pulled from the lows of the impulse to the highs of the impulse, and you turn on that golden pocket, we could be coming back down to this order block. You can see we have a 4-hour order block in here right around the golden pocket. Let's actually zoom out to the daily real quick. Do we have a daily level in there? No, we don't. So just wanted to give you guys a short analysis. We're at the top of the pitchfork, and I do think we could see a big pullback from here. At least, even if it's just going to be a pullback to your local 382, which in a strong trend will act as strong support. And you can see if that takes a couple days to pull back, then that 382 would be in confluence with our pitchfork band, where then we could attempt to try to break out of this pitchfork. So $1,190. That is going to be my first TP on this, is that area. And you can see also we have this order block that starts right around there, that daily order block in here that's in our pitchfork band. So that would be the first area of support within the daily order block and the pitchfork band. We can actually just mark out that daily as well real quick. daily is going to be coming in right around the bottom of the pitchfork band. So be aware between 1,190 and 1,150 is support levels where we would at least want to attempt to take some profit on this short position from these highs. Okay, XRP. XRP is breaking out of our descending channel on the daily, but we're not really seeing a clean breakout. And actually, the way this descending channel, I actually am going to change this. We're gonna reform this channel based off of this second high here. So we're gonna pull it from the highs to this high here, and then we'll bring it down to our lows. And you can see it's been well respected. The midline gave us the bounce the last time, and we're rejecting from the top of the channel in confluence with that POC. So we're still overall on the daily time frame in this corrective descending channel. Now, I do think that XRP does still have a high probability to break out and break up to higher new, maybe even new all-time highs here on XRP. But if we zoom in on XRP, well, first of all, we're bouncing from a daily level. You can see this daily level is kind of where we saw the bounce today. Daily level gave us that bounce, so we'll get rid of that. And then if we just zoom in on lower time frames here, let's go to the 4-hour chart. We are breaking our small upper range of the past few days, this little upper range to the downside, and I do think we're going to continue working down, so this impulse could be completed. And if we pull a Fibonacci from the lows to the highs, and we look at our golden pocket, that golden pocket will often give you the bounce. If that was an impulse and we're coming down for a little wave 2 before seeing a push up in a wave 3, then that golden pocket support is what we're at right now. So we're golden pocket and daily level down here. We're attempting to bounce from this. If we do lose this level, then I do think our 786 around the value area low could still give us a bounce. But if we lose that, then we have to talk about a bigger drop to the downside. So your next level of support is in 278 to 276.5. If you lose that, then I would start getting concerned because that's the value area low of our range that goes all the way back to the middle of July. If we lose that level, then I do think we could come down to actually hit that 0.5 Fibonacci of our fourth wave retracement. If you guys remember from a couple weeks ago, we talked about our big 5-wave impulse. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, our wave 4 could bring us down to hit that 0.5 before seeing a wave 5, potentially up to like 428. So we could be just in a corrective complex correction in a wave 4 in this descending channel until we come down and hit that 0.5. You can see that we do have some liquidity resting below our range lows of the past couple of months. That liquidity at 267 is coming up into our 0.5 Fibonacci at 264. And we also have both of our key anchored VWAPs right around that 0.5. The anchored VWAP from our previous all-time high, and then of course the anchored VWAP from our key low of the 2025 range, this larger range in here. If we pull this range all the way, yeah, and we're right around the value area high of that range. What I am seeing here, I do not like this price action above the value area high. You really want to see a clean breakout, backtest, and continuation. So I do think XRP is a bit complicated here. I do think we're in a fourth wave correction before seeing one new all-time high, potentially ending the bull market for XRP. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do come a little bit lower and actually come down to these anchored VWAPs between like 264 and 256, where our previous value area high was. Let me get rid of that. That was this small range value area high. If you do not pull it all the way, if you just look at this, that is the value area high of your previous range. So that is kind of what I'm looking at for XRP. Let's go onto the 1-hour chart. And we will turn on our naked daily points of controls. Yeah, naked daily point of control. We also have a fresh naked daily point of control at that 786. So just because we lose our golden pocket and daily that we bounced from earlier today, it doesn't mean all hope is lost. We could continue down a little bit lower to that 278 to about 276.5. And for me, that could be a scalp long opportunity for XRP. I'm just going to actually set an alert here on that naked daily. And if we get down there with some local bullish divs, I might look for a scalp long from that opportunity. Okay, lastly, Chainlink. Chainlink is rejecting our resistance that we did talk about. This resistance was on the box for weeks prior. You can see we had it on there really since September 26th. We came up, we rejected that golden pocket and range POC. Zooming out onto the 4-hour chart. It is our range that goes back to the middle of August, or really first week of August. And so we've been ranging for about 3 months around our larger pitchfork midline here. But since we have lost the pitchfork midline, we did see what looks like a 5-wave impulse to the downside here, a very clear 5-wave impulse down. This could have been a ABC correction, and now we're about to blast. But what I'm seeing so far from this move up over the past really month here, 2 weeks, does not look very strong so far. And we are rejecting that lower high golden pocket. We are still ranging within our range, and we've re-entered back within the volume profile, flipped it to support. So once we did that last week, we said we had a very high probability to continue up to value or to POC. We did that. We are rejecting from that POC, which also had a naked weekly and a naked daily POC there. I'm going to delete these now because we hit into them. We had a naked daily and a naked weekly POC. That's where the beginning and end of our box was. But we are forming what looks like a potential reversal pattern, being that like head and shoulders or model 2 distribution in here. Left shoulder ahead if we come up, right shoulder, and then we start to lose the value area low, which is our neckline. Then we could dump all the way back down, taking out the range lows, but potentially even coming all the way back down to, $18 or so, 18.3, where our key anchored VWAP and our pitchfork band, lower band is. We are still holding the macro value area high. If we come in on our charts and we turn on that macro range value area high, you can see that. Let's go on to the daily. That macro range value area high is still holding. Let me turn off some of these levels. Macro range value areas high is holding, and if we can hold this bullish back test of the macro value area high, we do have a high probability eventually to make our way up to major resistance above, with some stops along the way, pullbacks along the way. But if we roll down right now, rejecting from this purple box our local resistance that we rejected from a couple days ago on Monday, then we can look at, let's zoom in onto the 2-hour chart here. We can look at coming back down to backtest that value area low again, around 20.6. And if we pull our golden pocket from the lows to the highs, you can see that we do have a 786 that's resting right down there. And if we look at our daily levels, I guess the daily level is going to be a little bit above. It's going to be where our, and actually that has been tapped the very next day. So yeah, never mind on that there. We'll mark out this daily level here at 21.3 because our golden pocket is going to be around that. If we also turn on, yeah. So local support below 21.3, we do have a golden pocket and a fresh daily level. And then if we look at naked daily points of control, okay, no naked dailies below us. So local support levels, I will say local support levels below us that I would be interested in potentially looking for scalp long opportunities. Daily level golden pocket between 21.3 and 21.2. If we lose that, the next local level of support that I would be watching is your 786 and the macro value area high, which is acting as support now, 21.68 to 21.63. If we lose those, I do think we're going to see a drop potentially all the way back down to 18.3 to 18.5, where we can now take this and throw this up here. If we can get back above the golden pocket at 23.6, I think we're going to see a move up to the pitchfork midline, 24.75. And our value area high is going to be close. By the time we work our way up there, our value area high could be close to that pitchfork midline. As far as our very, very local range, we've been in a range really since the 1st of October. So for about a week now, we're at the value area high of our local range, or we're coming up into it right now. Let me hide some of these other ranges to make this a little bit less confusing. And if we pull our golden pocket from the highs to the lows of the move down yesterday, you can see that, okay, golden pocket's above the value area high, so I don't like that. But we do have some internal liquidity coming up into that 786. Really, if we break this value area high, I'm not going to be interested in too much for short positions. I'd just be looking at supports. But you could play this local range as well. That's about it for today, guys. Please hit the like button if you got anything out of this video. I will be live streaming tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow.